Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We are Chase and Melia, and today we're reacting to Morissette again.
Yay!
Woohoo! So we have, I don't know why we've never reacted to this. This has been highly requested. We've been very interested in this one as well.
I feel like for over a year I've wanted to listen to
for
this
a very
one.
long time. Just, you know, guys, life gets in the way. So today we are reacting to Morissette on Wish Bus, and it's never enough. Like,
it's never enough.
We're reacting to Never Enough. It's never enough.
Never enough Morissette.
If you've never seen our reactions to Morissette on our channel, I would highly suggest you start at the beginning because this has been a progression.
Sure.
Right? We have grown a relationship with Morissette. We don't know her personally, but it feels like we do now. We've watched her vocal journey at least over the last few years, which we relate to the game. But we've kind of watched her voice change, you know, through the pandemic, through performing live a lot, through not performing live a lot, through her getting older, because that is another thing that changes your voice. So it's been really exciting. If you guys have never seen our reaction videos, we like to break down these performances and look at the technique and look at what we think she's doing so that you guys can apply that to your singing and get better at singing. Not so you can sound like Morissette, but so you can sing well like these professionals do.
Yeah.
Apply the techniques that they do to do the great things that they do so you can also do that the same.
Yeah. What do these professional singers do that makes them sing so differently? So
Yes.
what makes a professional a professional? That's
Exactly.
what we're always trying to break down for you.
Absolutely. So today we're going to react to Morissette performing Never Enough, which is obviously from The Greatest Showman. So musical theater vibes, right? And it's live, and let's get started.
I'm trying to hold my breath.
Wish 1075.
Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream with me, getting louder now. Can you hear it echoing? Take my hand. Will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, and it'll never be enough, never be enough for me.
I know, I'm sorry. I already have so many things I want to say.
Oh, great.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
I always have things to say.
I'm noticing two things. Again, like I've said, we've reacted to Morissette a bunch of times now, a handful of times now. I feel like she's never really sounded like this.
Well, this is actually pretty old, right?
Oh, no, for sure.
So we've been listening to a lot of her more recent stuff, but this is now 4 years ago.
4 years
so if
old,
you can
yeah.
imagine, you know, she's already really amazing, but
Right.
she's still continuing to, I'm sure, meet with vocal
Right.
coaches and
And
voice teachers
grow.
and like have more experience and grow in her vocal technique. What do you mean you don't think that she normally sounds like this?
I feel like typically one of the things that I've noticed with her voice, and she doesn't sing in her lower register as much, so maybe that's what it is, but I feel like it feels a little bit like further back, like a little bit less forward resonance. We talk about forward resonance a lot as like a really efficient way to sing, and it's not a good or bad thing. It's just like the way that sound gets to us, right, is efficient when it's in a forward resonance.
Does it go into the room, or is it kind of in the back of your throat and stuff like that?
And that's what I feel like I'm sensing. Like, it feels like it's a little bit more in the back of her throat. And the only reason I really bring it up is because it doesn't sound like that's not the sound I'm used to getting from her. And so my only other observation that I'm going to make is that sometimes I believe when we sing in different languages, and I feel like English is a language we talk about a lot on this channel. We're American, and we sing in English a lot.
We have sung in other languages too, so that's
Right.
why we kind of it's something that we notice.
Absolutely. And so I feel like that could be why. I've heard her sing in English before, so I'm not saying that that's exactly it. But part of me wonders if the musical theater kind of genre partnered with it being in English is kind of having her put like an effect almost and sing with a style. And I just don't think that it actually represents her voice.
Sure. I would say, I was going to actually say a lot of that same kind of sentiment where, because of the musical theater nature of it, I think sometimes people go, okay, I have to do it this way. And the thing that I'm noticing the most is a lot of that chewing of the vowels. And I don't think this is typical for Morissette at all, but I also think that it tends to be something that we think we need to do, especially when we're singing something that's like a little more dramatic and theatrical, right?
Yes.
But it's not actually, we talk about on this channel efficiency. So that's not actually the most efficient way to do it. The most efficient way to do it would be just to, speak it like you normally would.
Yep.
Trying to hold my breath rather than trying to hold my breath.
And that's
right?
a dramatic example, but it sounds
not that it sounds bad,
no.
but it is a lot of space that is not necessary, right?
It's more work, too.
It's more work. And that's really all I would say is that, of course, it sounds beautiful. Morissette, she's opening her mouth and it sounds beautiful. But it's more about, I think, efficiency. And sometimes also when you chew those vowels, I don't know if you guys know this, vowels actually have a pitch that they resonate at. And so when you're chewing those vowels, the pitch will change and it might conflict with the pitch you're singing. So then you kind of sound a little bit out of tune.
Absolutely. And that's like tune in like a greater sense. Like, yes, it's tune like literally with the pitch, but I feel like it's also that resonance, right? Like the full resonance, allowing the intonation to like really settle in. It's so minor, guys, but it does affect the way you sound.
And we do this not because we think we're giving Morissette a voice lesson, because I think she's already aware of this stuff, because
of course. This is also old.
Listen to her recent stuff. She's very forward resonance. It's amazing. But we do it for you guys, and we do it for ourselves as well, because I'm constantly trying to bring my sound from the back of my throat out into the room. It's more powerful, it's more efficient, it's more resonant, and all the things that we want.
And where do I think this comes from? I think this comes from, and I'm not saying this is what Morissette is doing, but I think that this sound comes from listening to recordings of singers and trying to sing like that.
Sure.
Rather than trying to approach a song or a piece of music and like break it down, speak through the text. How does it sit in your voice? How would you speak those words? And then adding pitch and adding air and vowel and all of that. I mean, that's a very like condensed version of how we are processed.
Well, that's how you sing with your own voice rather than trying to sound like somebody else.
Absolutely. Right? Let's keep going.
I'm so excited for her to really open up here.
I am too.
I can't wait.
I feel like I know that she's...
Oh.
Yes.
This is also, we haven't said that dynamic range starting and as low as she started is just...
Oh, for sure.
That's how you make it really
She's very
good.
musical.
She's so...
Definitely.
Still too little. These hands can hold the world, and it'll never be enough. Never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me. For me, never enough.
Ooh, that was mean.
What?
To stop right there.
Really?
For me.
Oh, man. I had to... Do you guys hear the difference? Yeah. Right? So when she really opens up and when she really needs, if you have it far back and if you're working any harder than you need to, you're not going to be able to hit that note as consistently, as in tune, as richly and full of resonance as that right there. And so that's why we talk about this stuff all the time, is because it's already hard. Like if you're trying to do stuff like that, that's already really, really hard. Yeah. And then if you make it more difficult by having, a lot of space in the back of your throat, or, doing any of the other things we talk about. Yeah. It's just not going to happen. Right. It's just not going to happen.
I think it's also really interesting. Morissette is definitely, she's known for a lot of things, but one of the things that most people notice is like her breath control and like phrasing. So she sings these incredibly long phrases without taking a breath. And she does it in a way that is not only like artistic and dynamic, but it's also like, it's like technical. Right? Like that is, I think it aids to how she has such power when she sings. Oh, yeah. Because she's obviously using her air. It's not just like taking a good deep breath as singer's breath. It's not just that. It's also using that air consistently, because that is, if she didn't use her air consistently, she would fall out of tune. She would crack. She wouldn't be able to do her signature squeak. Like that, all of those things, which
all of the things are just grounded in
absolutely
killer, just solid breath support.
For sure.
And what does that look like to you? How would you describe that to somebody who doesn't know like what that level of breath support means, like physically?
Well, I think that a lot of it is practicing, of course. Like it is practicing how do you use your air. So there's a lot of exercises that you can do to practice that. But it's sending your air first. It's your air is preceding you. That's what our voice teacher always said. Your air precedes the vowel. The sound, exactly. So the idea, the concept of that is you take a breath and then you form the vowel, but the air goes first, right? It's like a train. We always kind of use that imagery of like a train is coming and
you don't want to get in front of it.
Exactly.
You don't want to miss it and get behind it. You want to like land on the train. So the train's going in front of you, right? So one of the things that I think about a lot is people with my students especially, and myself, I went through this as well. Yeah. Thinking that in order to sing without tension, I just need to be relaxed. I need to be relaxed. I need to be relaxed. And the opposite of tension is not relaxed. The opposite of tension is loose. Yeah. And so when I think loose, I think more of like professional athletes. If you think of, whatever basketball player, whoever, whatever sport you watch, they're strong and they're quick, but they're not tight and clunky. They're fluid. Yeah. And they use all their muscles, but in a fluid way. So, and that's how I like to think about air, where I have a very active lower belly, and I know exactly like where I try to bring it up and out from as low of a place as I can, but that is moving and I am sending it. The other side of that, because that can easily translate into pushing really hard, is getting your throat out of the way. So instead of like really pushing your air into your throat, you're sending your air and your throat's just riding it, and the air precedes just your sound. So I think that Morissette is a masterclass in like just air support in general. I
absolutely agree. There's so much we can learn.
She's been so consistent for years. It's really awesome.
I think too, if we remind ourselves as singers that our body and what we do, that's an instrument. So it helps me sometimes to think of it as being used like an instrument. When we don't have the luxury. I'm going to call it a luxury because I think it is to press a button or to there's nothing physical that we can do or really should do.
Or to upgrade our instruments just with some money,
So much of what we do is mental. Honestly, so much of what we do is mental. And so I think that when we remind ourselves that we are an instrument and we can function as an instrument, you have to know how that works. You have to know the technical parts of that because it helps you. I mean, sometimes it doesn't help you to know like the muscle names and all of that stuff, but still knowing how our instrument functions, like the basic function of it, will help you use it better. Singing is simple, not easy. The concept is simple, not easy. Yeah. So it takes practice, it takes effort.
Well, and if you're not working hard in every other part of this song, you can really reach new heights because you're not making everything harder for yourself,
Absolutely.
right? And so if you start to strip away all the things you don't need, you'll be able to go farther, you'll be able to sing higher, you'll be able to sing longer, more powerfully, all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
So that's why we try to take away as much of the things that we don't need, all of the extra movements, muscle, all that kind of stuff.
Totally.
How I would approach this, because this is really hard, and this is
very hard.
This is the the meat of this song. This is the part that everyone is waiting for, right? So you have to do it well. How I would approach it is, first I figure out my vowels, and I would speak never enough, never enough. Now am I doing never enough, never enough is an an ah, an ah. You know, sometimes you can make an ah kind of more ah, and that helps a lot. Never enough. That's kind of more ah. I think Morissette is doing what I want to do, which is never enough, right?
Yep.
And so that's how I would do it. I would say, okay, never enough. And I'm making sure that I check in here and I put my thumb where my thumb and my chin kind of meet. And I make sure nothing's pushing down. Never enough. Never enough. I think I'm in the right key. Never enough. Right, so I'm the octave lower. And I'm practicing it. This is kind of called marking, where I'm an octave lower. I'm taking it nice and easy. I'm practicing my vowel. And now I'm going to start adding air. Never enough. Never enough, never enough. And I'll tell you right now, as soon as I hit the my whole jaw gets tight, my tongue gets tight, my tongue wants to push down and make space. Our bodies want to feel it because that feels like we're working really hard. Yeah. But when the more you feel it, the less they hear it. That's how I try to think about it all the time. So I'm gonna do the same exact thing that I'm doing right now, an octave higher. Never enough.
Whew. You got it.
It doesn't even sound good though.
But you got it.
Never enough.
That's crazy.
Well, I don't think it sounds good, but it's not hard.
Right.
Never enough.
Yeah, I feel like though, even just thinking about like, what is the alternative of that? Like, how could people approach that and like grab on, and then you couldn't even do it?
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Never enough.
Yeah,
you know, it's the everyone go and that literally makes it 10 times harder. But I can if I just do it the same way I'm talking, never enough, never enough, never enough.
That's crazy.
You know,
that is crazy. Like, I mean, and this is one of those things. You're not actively working on this song right now.
Also, I haven't warmed up, all that kind of stuff. And I would say, if you let go of trying to sound good, I could take that sound that I already said I don't think it sounds good, and that's not how I would change the key. I'd probably, if I did this song, I'd probably lower the key a little bit. But I could also keep the key and work that.
Absolutely.
And continue to figure out how to make that even looser, even easier.
Yeah.
By sending air and by getting more of that, my throat out of it. And that'll start to get vibrato in there. That'll start to make it more musical. This is me just telling you kind of my process a little bit, but you can't get to the musical sounding really good, vibrato, all that, all that stuff without getting through that this doesn't sound quite good yet, but I am doing it in the ways that I think I need to do it.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Oh,
so
yes.
So you start with no tension, but maybe not sounding very good. And then start working it more and more, developing it, and you will then you can dial in stuff, but you can't get there without trying to do it without all this extra stuff.
Absolutely. And I think too, if you guys watch vocalists on the internet, you'll find warm-up videos, exercise videos floating around all the time of celebrity singers warming up, and they sound absolutely insane. Like we make weird noises when we're warming up our voice. So if you guys are looking for some exercises to, add to your practice, we have made 3 exercises that we love, that we think are kind of like staple foundation exercises. They're available available at our store. We'll link it in the description box below. Check
cheap.
those out. They're cheap. They're affordable. And you warm up with us. You've got a video. You've got the audio recording file.
Yep.
So that way you can actually just add these to your practice, whether that's in the car, in the shower, wherever it is you warm up before performance, just during the week. I think these will help you gain some of these foundations that we're talking about.
Yep. And it's more, I would say it's more effective to do little 5-minute chunks at a time.
Totally.
You know, throughout the day. And that's why we made the audio file. So yeah, you can learn how to do it. You can watch the video, but then when you take it and you just throw it in your ear and you're, you know, folding laundry, doing the, you know, driving in the car, it's just helpful and it's convenient.
Yep.
That's how people get better, is they just do it all the time.
Yep. Yeah, the consistency is so important to improving any sort of skill or technique. So, well, we hope that, let's finish this out, because that will drive me nuts. I
have to say one more thing. Sliding to that last note and taking your time sliding to that last note is awesome.
It requires so much air.
And it's such a musical thing, and it's really easy to slide too fast. And and the more time you take getting to that note, the more satisfying it is when you get there. So take that away from
brava.
So also just use that, because I'm trying to use that more, that slow slide into your note or into another note. It's like, it's really, really wonderful.
Really nice.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's finish.
Wishclusive on Wish 107.5.
I'm so glad we paused it at the same part again. We're just going to leave it.
I cannot believe that I paused right before it was going to end. It was going to end. So
that's okay.
You're welcome.
Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this video and learned something. We definitely learned something, like we always do when we watch professionals do what they do best. Oof. So if you guys enjoyed that and you are new to our channel, check out another video. We've reacted to Morissette. We've reacted to lots of other singers. We even have ourselves singing on here. So we would love for you guys to check out another video on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.